Hi children, how are you? Hope you are safe at home. Good. In last week video we saw poem 10, isn't it? So now this week I have planned to switch over to the Merchant of Venice. In 9th standard we have completed till Act 3 Scene 1, isn't it? So I have given a summary here, and after this we can see Scene 2. Scene 2 there are many lines, so I have planned to take it as 3 or 4 classes. So just you keep following the video. I will send this document to in our WhatsApp group also. You can go through that, okay? Now come, let's see Scene 1 summary. Act 3 opens with Salarino and Salanio discussing rumors that another one of Antonio's ships has been wrecked. Shylock enters and lashes out at both of the men, accusing them of being involved with Jessica's elopement. The two men proudly take credit for their role in Jessica's elopement and mock him for his metaphor when he complains that his flesh and blood has rebelled. Okay, now we know this. When the scene begins, Salarino and Salanio, they were talking about the rumor, the news that they hear that one of Antonio's ships has been wrecked. Okay, and at that time Shylock enters and he also just scores these two fellows for helping Jessica. Shylock says that already these two fellows know that Jessica is going to elope with Lorenzo, and these two people also feel very proud, saying that yes, we know everything. And when Shylock says that my own flesh and blood has rebelled, no, they just mocked, they just kidded him, saying that okay, don't call Jessica as your own flesh and blood, okay, because she doesn't have any bad qualities like you. Then after that, what happens, no? Just I'm saying the gist, okay, you can read through this. So now Shylock now confirmed that Antonio's ship has been wrecked. So Antonio was now in a very bad situation. Now he wants to take revenge against Antonio using the bond. I think you remember the bond that Antonio has borrowed money for Bassanio from Shylock, signing a bond that if suppose Antonio failed to return the money within the given time, a pound of flesh will be taken by Shylock from Antonio's body. This is the bond, isn't it? Now, Shylock wants to take revenge against Antonio because many times Antonio has mistreated Shylock as he was a Jew. So now he wants to take revenge. Okay, at that time, a servant from Antonio enters and informs that Antonio is waiting to meet Salanio and Salarino. So that two persons left. While they were leaving, Tubal, okay, a Jewish friend of Shylock, he enters and he says that he was unable to find Jessica because he was appointed by Shylock to search Jessica. Now Shylock got very angry because Jessica has taken all his riches. Okay, so he was not sorry that his daughter has left him. He was sorry only for the riches which she has taken, and even he wants his daughter to be dead, but with all his riches. So he was such a money-minded person. Now he got very angry, and Tubal says that Jessica has taken the ring that was given to Shylock by a lady when he was young. The name of the lady is Leah, and we can assume that this lady is Jessica's mother. And Jessica has used that ring to buy a monkey. So on hearing this, Shylock was very angry. He was in a very angry mood. And then now Tubal reminds Shylock that okay, Antony's ship was wrecked. Now he was in a very bad luck. So this incident no made him to be very happy, and he informs Tubal that I'm going to take a revenge against Antonio using the bond. Suppose if he wants to escape, I need to punish him. So for that, you just arrange a police. Okay, this is the scene 1. Okay, this is the incident that happened in scene 1. Now slightly something is coming in your mind. Yes, I think it is. Okay, now you got it, isn't it? Good children. Now we can see Act 3 Scene 2. Okay, in this scene, what is happening means, now Bassanio has got money from Shylock, isn't it? Now he has came to Belmont to get Portia in marriage. Okay, now what's the test for that? He has to choose the right casket, isn't it? So now Bassanio has came to Portia's place. Now see how the scene begins. One side I have given the original text, one side it's a modern text. You can go through that, okay? Now enter Bassanio, Portia, Graciano, Nerisha and all other trains. Trains means their attendants and including a singer. Okay, now Portia is saying to Bassanio, I pray you tarry, pass a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong, I lose your company. So Portia are begging to Bassanio, please wait, okay? Just wait for a day or two before you do the hazard. What is that hazard? Choosing a wrong casket. Suppose if you choose a wrong casket, I will lose your company. So just wait Okay, immediately don't go and choose the casket. You just wait for a day or two. Therefore, forbear a while. So he's saying, so wait for a while. There is something tells me, but it is not love. I would not lose you. Okay, she's saying something is telling inside me, but don't take it as love, that I should not lose your company. And you know yourself, hate counsels not in such a quality. And she's also saying that, and you also know, Basani also know that if I hate you, I won't think like this. So indirectly, she is proposing to Bassanio that she was in love with him, but she cannot say it directly. Okay, but lest you should not understand me well, and yet a maiden hath no tongue, but thought I would detain you here some month or two before you venture for me. So she's saying, I know that we girls have no rights to open our hearts, so the same I am also in such a condition. But in spite of that, I want you to stay here for 1 month or 2 months before you just go for the test, before you choose the casket. I could teach you how to choose right, but I am then forced one. She is saying, my mind wants to teach you how to choose the right casket, but I cannot, because what's the reason? So will I never be. So may you miss me, but if you do, you will make me decision that I had been forced one. But she's saying, my heart wants to say you how to choose the correct casket. But if I do like that, I will be disregarding the oath I took. What's the oath? She cannot say the truth to any of the suitors, isn't it? Otherwise, it will be like not respecting her father. So she says, I cannot do like that. So I will never tell you. But, okay, but if you choose a wrong casket, you will lose me. Okay? And you will make me wish for something very bad. What is that very bad? Okay, let us see what is that. But if you do, you will make me wish a sin that I had been forced one. So what she is saying, if you do choose wrong, you will make me wish for something very bad. I would wish I had ignored my oath and told you everything. So what Portia is trying to say is, my heart feels that I should teach you how to choose the correct casket, but I cannot do it because it was a sin. But if you choose the wrong casket, you will make me to do a sin. What is that sin? He will make Portia to think in her mind that I should have overcome the oath and I should have told him the way to choose the casket. Okay, so this is the thing happening. That is, Portia's mind is filled with fear. She wants Bassanio to choose the right casket, but she was afraid that suppose if he chose the wrong casket, she would lose him permanently, isn't it? So before that, he wants to enjoy with Bassanio, enjoy the love of Bassanio. So she is okay making him to wait for some more time. Be sure your eyes, they have overlooked me and divided me. So he's saying, your eyes, no, when I look at your eyes, no, just it was just overlooking me and it was dividing me into two. One half of me is yours and the other half yours. So she's saying, one part, okay, it is dividing my body into two parts. One part is yours and the other part is me. But that my part also belong to you. Mine own, I would say, but if mine, then yours, and so all yours. So these naughty times put bars between the owners and their rights. And so, though yours, not yours, prove it so. So what she is saying, no? Your eyes, no, they have divided me into two. One half of me is yours and the other half, it's my own half. But I would call it, it also belongs to you. That is, she's saying, I'm yours. That is the short note of this. I'm yours. But I cannot say I'm yours until you choose the correct casket. So just choose the correct casket. So she is giving it like a warning to Bassanio. And she is saying, but now at this time, no, though I want to be yours, I cannot just overcome my father's oath. So I have to wait. You have to choose the right casket. Then only I can become completely your property. Let fortune go to hell for it, not I. I speak too long, but it is to peace the time, to eke it and to draw it out and then to stay you from election. So what she is saying, why I'm talking like this is, I just want to prolong the time so that you will just stay for a few hours, for a few minutes with me, so that, okay, you won't choose the wrong casket. So Portia's only aim and mind is Bassanio should not choose the wrong casket. Suppose if he choose the wrong casket, she will lose him permanently. So he just prolongs the time by keeping on talking. But see what's the mindset of Bassanio. Bassanio is saying, let me choose. Far as I am, I live upon the rack. So Bassanio is saying it was like a torture to me. So let me choose the casket. Why should I wait? You are keeping on prolonging the time, extending the time, no? So I feel it like a torture. Let me choose. Then let us see what happens. Portia says, upon the rack, Bassanio, then confess what Russian there is mingled with your love. So she is asking, oh, it was like a torture for you. And then say, okay, what Russian? Russian means treachery or betrayal. What is the betrayal that was mixed in your love? So now Bassanio, he's saying, none but that ugly treason of mistrust which makes me feareth enjoying of my love. There may be as well be amity in life between snow and fire as treason and my love. Okay. So what she is saying, what he is saying, the only betrayal I'm guilty of is worrying that I'm never going to get to enjoy you. Trushan has nothing at all to do with my love. They are as opposite as hot and cold. He is saying I have no betrayal. There is no hidden idea in my mind. The only thing I'm afraid is I should never want to miss you. And she is saying, Trushan, the betrayal, it may be like opposite us hot and cold. Can we keep hot and cold? Can we keep fire and water nearby? No, it cannot live, isn't it? Likewise, I in my love don't have any betrayal. My love is pure. This is Bassanio trying to say, and Portia saying, hey, but I fear you speak upon the rack where men enforced to speak anything. So Portia saying, no, I'm not sure. I believed what you were saying, but men under torture, no, they will confess anything. So if they were under torture, no, they will say whatever they want to say, they will confess, they will accept the truth. So Bassanio is saying, promise me life and I will confess the truth. So Bassanio is saying that you promise me that you will let me live. Then I will say the truth. And Portia is saying, well, then confess and live. Portia is saying, okay, I won't do anything to you. Just you will say the truth and then you can live. But Bassanio is saying, confess and love had been the very sum of my confession. So he's saying instead of saying confess and live, if you say confess and love, that I want to say, that is, he is saying that I am in love with you. Oh, happy torment, when my torturer doth teach me answers for deliverance, but led me to my fortune and the casket. So he's saying it's very fun to see that my torturer is teaching me, okay, what I have to say to go free. Bassanio also knows that he was in love with Portia, and Portia also knows that she was in love with Bassanio. But she is also not exposing her love to Bassanio, and Bassanio is also not exposing. They both, okay, they are hiding it in their heart, okay, but that only Portia wants Bassanio to say. But instead of choosing the, sorry, before choosing the casket, Bassanio also can't say anything open, no? So he was saying it indirectly that he was in love with Portia. Okay, do you understand up to the scene? Okay, up to these lines. Now see, now Portia, what she's saying, away then, I am locked in on of them. If you do love me, you will find me out. Okay, now she's saying, okay, then now you want to choose the casket. Okay, just go. I am locked in. I am locked in means she was not literally locked. One of your portrait was kept in, one of my portrait, that is one of Portia's portrait was kept in the casket. You just, if you love me really, you will find me out. You will find that correct casket. Now she is saying to Melisandre, stand all of you all go, just leave away. Okay, you all stand away from Bassanio, let him go and choose the casket. That music sound while he doth make his choice on. He is asking the music people, musicians to play the music when he was making the choices. Then if he lose, he makes a swan like and fading in music. That the comparison may stand more proper, my eye shall be the stream and watery deathbed for him. Okay, she is saying suppose if he just chose the wrong casket. It was the swan song. Swan song means a final performance or activity of a person's career. That's all, the last chance. Okay, that's the last chance. Suppose if Bassanio chose a wrong casket, the music, no, the music should be fading. Actually, swan, it's a water bird, okay, it needs water to swim, isn't it? So Portia is saying, suppose if he chose the wrong casket, he needs water, isn't it? So my tears will be the water, my tears will be the stream, it will be like a river. In my tear stream he can just swim. Okay, that is, she is expressing how much love she has for Bassanio, and she is saying he may win. And what is music then? Suppose if he wins, what will be the music then? Then music is even as the flourish when true subjects how to a new crown monarch. Okay, how the music will means it will be like the music when a new king. Okay, when a new king was being appointed, how the people were very happy. What a happy, pleasant music will be played. No, that kind of music she wants. As such, it is as those dulcet sounds in break of day that creep into the dreaming bridegroom's ear and summon him to marriage. And she's saying that she also needs a type of music, no, which was asking the bridegroom to come to the church for his marriage. That will be a very pleasant and sweet music, isn't it? That kind of music she needs. Okay. Now he goes with no less presence but with much more love than young Alcides when he did redeem the virgin tribute paid by howling Troy to the sea monster. I stand for sacrifice, the rest aloof for the Dardian wives. With blurred visages, come forth to view the issue of the exploit. Go Hercules, live though I live. With much, much more dismay, I view the fight than thou that makest the fray. Now she is saying, no, now Bassanio is going, he was going with much love. And that love was more than the love of Alcides. Alcides means Hercules, okay. Actually, what happened now, this story, this girl called, what's the name of the girl? Hazoin, no, she was actually a princess, and she was taken by a sea monster because her father has cheated the sea king by not doing what he promised. So in angry, that sea king has sent a sea monster, and the monster has taken Hazoin, and it has planned to devour it, to eat Hazoin. So the Troy, he sent Hercules. Hercules were a very strong hero, Greek hero. So the king sent Hercules to fight with that sea monster and to rescue this princess. And Hercules also went and fought, and he just rescued. So Hercules was considered as a very brave hero, but here Bassanio was much braver. Okay, he was more brave than Hercules, and she was waiting. And she is saying that, okay, go Hercules, if you live I will live. Okay, if you live I will live. I'm more anxious, I'm more worried watching you fight than you are in the fight itself. Okay, so now you're fighting for me, you are going to fight for me by choosing the right casket. I'm waiting. Okay, so her mind is fully filled with anxiety. She was worrying whether Bassanio will choose the correct casket or not. Okay, so here, this is the line, these lines shows the mindset of Portia. Now a song, the whilst Bassanio commands on the caskets to himself. Now Bassanio, he was just going to the casket. 3 caskets were kept, isn't it? So now he was talking with the casket. Before that, a song was playing. The singer, he is singing, tell me where is fancy bread, or in the heart or in the head, how big or how nourished. Okay, the singer is asking, tell me where our desires start, whether in the heart or in the head, and how it is living, how it is sustaining. And all the other, they are saying reply, answer me. And the singer is again saying, it is endangered in the eyes with gazing fit, and fancy dies in the cradle where it lies. Let us all ring fancy's kneel, I will begin it, ding dong bell. So the singer is now saying, desire starts in the eyes, and it will sustain by gazing. Gazing means looking at each other without the blinking your eyes. Okay, and desires die very young. And she is saying, the singer is saying, let us all mourn for our dead desires. Some of our desires is nothing but our wishes. Okay, yeah, it has died. Some of our desires have died very young, before it matured itself, it had died. So let us mourn, let us feel sorry for that. I will begin. And the singer is singing ding dong bell. All are following him and singing ding dong bell. Now Bassanio, now he was talking with the casket. Okay, was saying, so may the outward shows be least to themselves, the world is still deceived with ornament. What is Bassanio saying? You can't always judge a book by its cover. People are often tricked by false appearance. That's the meaning. That is, so may the outward shows be least to themselves. Maybe the outward appearance may be very beautiful. Likewise, imagine the golden casket, how it will be. It was very gold, very shining, isn't it? But the world is still deceived with ornament, and seeing that it only itself we were deceived. No, so he's saying, appearance. People are deceived by appearances. Okay. In love, what plea so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with a gracious voice, obscures the show of evil. And he is saying, in court, someone can deliver a false plea but hide its wickedness with a pretty voice. Even in court, you can cheat others. No, maybe he may be a very big culprit, okay, but by his pretty voice, okay, he can make everybody to prove that he was an innocent person. Likewise, in religion, what damned error, but some sober bro will bless it and approve it with the text, hiding the grossness with fair ornament. There is no vice so simple, but assumes some mark of virtue on his outward parts. Okay, and he is saying that even even in religion, even serious people, they will defend sins with scripture, covering up evil with a show of good. Every sin in the world manages to make itself look good somehow. Okay, what he is saying, even the religious people, they are those who are saying, I'm very pious, I'm following God. No, they look very good outside, but they will hide all the wickedness in their heart with a very good appearance, with a very good smile. Likewise, okay, so everywhere you go, people are cheated by their outward appearance. They are cheating the world with their outward appearance. Okay, and how many cowards whose hearts are all as false as stars of sand wear yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars, who inward search to have livers white as milk, and these assume but valor's extremement to render them redoubted. Okay, see, there are many cowards. Okay, there are many people at heart, they are very fear, they were very afraid, they have no courage at all, but they will have beards like Hercules or Mars, the god of war. Okay, Hercules, I said, he was a brave hero. He was called as a Greek god of Greek god, or Mars is the god of war. These people are very brave people, but many normal human beings, those who even don't have any courage, they will have beard. Their outward appearance will look like they were very brave. They were like a god of war. So why he is saying all this is, he is saying that the outward appearance is deceptive. It is cheating. Don't judge anything by seeing the outward appearance. Even in beauty, he is saying, see that, look on beauty, and you shall see it is purchased by the weight, which therein works a miracle in nature, making them lightest that wear most of it. So he is saying, see, take another example, beauty. It can be bought by the ounce in makeup, which works miracle. Women who wear it the most are respected the least. So what is saying? Beauty. What we are doing to make ourselves more beautiful? We are doing makeup, we are going to parlor, we are applying this and that, we are spending most of the money because we think that if we appear like this only, the people will respect that. Whether that's a real respect, looking beautiful outside, no, our inner heart should be beautiful, isn't it? That's the thing we needed, but we are thinking that the outside beauty is very essential. And then see, so are these crisp snaky golden locks, which maketh such wanton gambols with the wind, upon supposed fairness, often known to be the dowry of a second head, the skull that bred them in the sepulchre. Okay, this thus ornament is but the guile shore to a most dangerous sea, the beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty in a word, the seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. Therefore then, thou gaudy gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee. Okay, now first he said about how in a court a culprit can escape by his very humble Phoebe voice. Okay, and then in religion, how the people, those are doing all the sins, but by having a very good appearance outside, they are escaping. And beauty, and then cowards, though they were covered in their heart, they will have beard and their outward appearance will be like the Greek god of war. Then beauty, to make ourselves beautiful, we are buying some makeups and doing beautiful. Even the hair, if the hair is curly, if it is golden color, okay, it looks beautiful. Suppose if we don't have hair like that, what we are doing, we are having a wig, okay, and we are keeping it. And that wig, from where it is made, it was taken from the dead person, isn't it? It was taken from the skull of the dead person, and using that only it is made. Will you, whether if I say dead person, will you take anything from a dead person? We consider it as something odd, isn't it? But for makeup, okay, we are buying, spending lot of money and buying the wig without knowing that it was taken from a dead person like this. Okay, why we are decorating all this? Just to trick and trap the viewer. We want to attract the viewers or the spectators, those who are looking at us. That's the thing, we are doing all these things. And also, I'm sorry, just a second. Okay, see, and also see, you can also know a lovely cunning shore. That is, for example, when you go, imagine the Marina Beach during the tsunami time, and imagine the Marina Beach now, how it was. Now you love to see the seashore, very calm. Okay, the waves are very nice to see. We can enjoy it. But during tsunami, do we love to see the sea? No, the same. Okay, so a lovely cunning shore can distract a man from the perils of a stormy sea, just as a pretty scarf, no, even it can hide the dangerous dark-skinned beauty. Suppose, okay, why we are wearing scarf? To hide ourselves, to protect ourselves. Inside the scarf, nobody knows what kind of a face you have. So nowadays, everyone is fooled by the appearance. So he is saying, now he was talking all this about the golden casket. So the gold was outside very shining, very appealing, but he don't wants to choose. It was like the gold that Midas couldn't eat. I think you all know that the story of Midas, isn't it? He was a king and he asked a boon from God that whatever he touches should become gold. Okay, so whatever he touches, everything become gold. He was very hungry and he goes and touched the food, it became gold, so he cannot eat it, isn't it? So it's waste, isn't it? So it was the same. And see what next he is saying. Mm. Nor line 105, okay, nor none of thee, though pale and common rush between man and man, but thou meager lead, which rather threatenest than dost to promise on, thy paleness moves me more than eloquence, and here choose I joy be the consequence. And he is saying, and I will have nothing to do with this pale silver, either the metal that common coins are made of. And his next is coming to the silver casket and saying that we are using silver coins, and this silver casket is also made using that metal. I won't bother about it also, but I this humble lead, okay, among these three metals, the very cheapest one is lead, and though it looks too threatening to promise me anything good, moves me more than I can say. So this is the one I chose. I hope I'm happy with my choice. So what is saying, no? Maybe this lead may be the cheapest metal, but though it is not going to do me any good, my heart asks me to choose this casket. So I will be very happy that it is my choice. I'm going to choose the lead casket. Lead casket is my choice. Okay. Now Portia, no, she's saying, she is talking to herself. How all other passions flee to her as doubtful thoughts and rash embrace despair and shuddering fear and green-eyed jealousy. O love, be moderate, allay the ecstasy, in measure reign thy joy. Scan this excess, I feel too much thy blessing, make it less, for fear I forfeit. When Basani was choosing the lead casket, no, automatic now portion, she's feeling that all her emotions are vanishing and all her doubts and desperation, fear, jealousy, everything is flying away from her. She feels calm now, okay? She feels that her love and joy has become, okay, more. So, and she's feeling that she's having that feeling, but she's saying that, okay, please don't, I don't know why I'm getting this much of feeling. Let this feeling not make me sick, because it itself shows that Bazan has chosen the right casket. As Portia says, if you really love me, you will choose the right casket. No, so Bazan has chosen the casket. The time when Bazan chose the lead casket, here, no, all the fear, doubt, jealousy, everything, no, it ran away from Portia's mind, and she feels very light, she feels very happy, no. So she's saying why this change, she cannot understand, and she's also having a little bit fear there. Please, okay, I feel that I'm very happy, I'm feeling very more loved, but let this not make me sick. Suppose if Bazan have chosen the wrong casket, all this will shatter into pieces. Let it not happen. This is her small fear in her mind. Okay, so up to this line number 116 I'm stopping. We can stop with this and we can see the remaining in the next class. I hope you might have understood it. Okay, suppose if you have any doubt, you can contact and ask me. I will send this document in the WhatsApp group also. Okay, children, thank you.